I don't, this isn't about pushing through your fear. That's not what we're talking about at all. What we're talking about here is meeting your fear with presence, and even more specifically, with loving presence. You wrote that skill building becomes identity shifting, and I just love that so much. What changes in a person when they succeed in the water?
There's a ripple effect. This is early on in my days of doing this work when I was even sort of seeking my own personal transformation. I remember thinking and even saying to students, oh, it's so neat that you have something so concrete that you're afraid of, that you have this thing very specifically to be able to work through so you can lovingly go through this process because it's the same in any other area of your life. And so they get to, and this is usually learning to swim is a big one for people because there is a physical truth to people do lose their lives in water. So there is, and the fact that we can't breathe when we're doing part of it, it has a very high stakes. It presents very high stakes in that way. So it's a really big one for people to be able to play with and to discover themselves with and journey with. So we do see big transformations in their personal life too, because wow, it's so huge for them to be able to go through it. And the more they do it with this tender care, and the other thing that we do encourage people to do is to look in other areas of their lives of how they have overcome fear, of how powerful they are in some other area that maybe they're not giving themselves credit for because it's now an easy thing for them. But we build confidence from confidence. And there are places that we have, it might be a very tiny nugget, and that's okay. We can take a little grain of sand of confidence and bring it into our swimming journey. That sense of confidence, then now we can take that into what other life journey that we want to have as well.
Success isn't just technical, it lands in the body. How do repetition, gentle exposure, and paced progression help to build new wiring?
We are, I'm sure this goes universally, but we see this particularly in our clients. They live in systems that they're very rewarded for academic pushing or performance pushing. And when they learn a new way in terms of that tuning in way, um, it makes just a profound difference for them. But they do need to, we have to be in this mindfulness piece of recognizing this is the key to their success, is this coming back into the body and coming back into taking care, because it's very easy to slip back into this other way of being that's very highly rewarded in our society, but it burns people out and it gets people, I see in the water, people do drown from it because they're more concerned about getting to destination. Let's swim over to there. Like my story with the island, if I was more concerned about getting to the island instead of tuning to the process, I could have been in a lot of danger. But because I was more attuned to the process, it was a very successful, even though we had some things that went very awry. We did have to use that kayak support on the way back because the tides changed while we were out there.
Ooh.
But, because we were paying attention to the process, it's a wonderful, successful story.
Where do play, curiosity, and laughter accelerate learning?
What we see is it's a great integration. It's a great integration. So one of the most controversial things I ever posted on a swim teachers Facebook group was I was teaching a student for an hour and a half. That's controversial to begin with, that I have hour and a half private lessons. But I was teaching a student and we played games the entire time. Oh my gosh, people just were very upset. This idea. How could you waste their time? But I put it on there on purpose because it was the best time that we ever could have played. or we ever could have learned in. It was such an integration of all of the small pieces. I had to start with other pieces first in terms of going underwater because we're playing games like picking stuff up off the floor. We have a little torpedo toy that we throw to each other. So it's an underwater catch game.
Learning is easier when things are fun.
Yes, it's so much joyful. Yeah, they just like, all right, now I'm not so worried about all the things that I'm worried about. So they had such a good time. So it's so integral. It's so integral that it's even one of the things that we say. We'll say, we can put our face in the water if it sounds like fun. And we really want people to answer that question. If it's yes, then great, put your face in the water. If it's no, it just tells us there's a worry, there's a concern, there's a question. Perfect. It can now be revealed. And we can find answers to those and then ask again. Does it sound like fun? If it's yes, great. If it's no, no problem. We just have more information to work with.
More opportunities for learning.
Mm-hmm.